I'm excited to be here. And listen, I'm just another brown black sister that's out here making it happen.
Follow the Leader features dynamic women entrepreneurs in their journeys to becoming a success in business. This podcast is an inspirational space for entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, and thought leaders as they share their keys to success. I am Chanel Christoph Davis, the CEO and founding partner of the largest woman and minority-owned sales tax advisory practice in the country, Davis and Harmon, LLC. Today on Follow the Leader, I am so excited to have a guest leader in the show that's going to, I'm sure, inspire you all. She's simply amazing. Her name is Haith Johnson. She's the CEO of LeHost, LLC. She has built a brand name as the hair expert specialized in hair extensions and wigs. She has been featured guest on numerous radio shows and appeared multiple times on local and national TV shows, giving her hair advice or sharing her success story. Haith had become one of the most sought after celebrity cosmetologists for the likes of Yolanda Adams, one of my favorites. She's my favorite.
Love her.
The Clark sisters, Shirley Caesar, Cece Winans, Erica and Tina Campbell of Mary, and many, many more. Her gift literally took her around the world. By the age of 19. She was on the road traveling with stage plays. With over 35 years of beauty industry experience, her work has been enhanced in movies, billboards, CD covers, award shows, music videos, and other media streams. Having a desire to service women on a more personal level, that has with her specialized hair needs. In 2007, she and her husband, her business partner, opened a salon providing clients and customers with superior customer service and the highest standards of excellence and professionalism. She has established a trusted name of offering exceptional customer service and superior hair care products. LeHost products can be found in over 300 plus Walmart stores, Amazon, and on her very own e-commerce site, LeHostHair.com, and in stores such as Me Hairs. Is that how you pronounce it?
Where?
Me Hair store. Me Hairs.
Oh, Myers
store. Forgive me, I'm in Texas.
No, you are okay. You are so okay.
Myers. Haith has a dedicated focus to community service by partnering with the American Cancer Society as a designated wig bank, distributing free wigs to cancer survivors and providing cranial and prosthesis as a supplier to hospitals to veteran women. She's also a certified WeBank, women-owned small business and women business enterprise, as well as a certified NMSDC minority business enterprise and alumni of Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. Welcome to the show.
Woo!
You are fabulous, Haith Johnson. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Chanel. You are so beautiful. And you do not know how nervous I have been to be with you. You are so incredible. No, you are rock and roll, freaking rock star. Amazing. For real.
I'm gonna capture that compliment and hold it to my heart, because I know you have been featured on Black Enterprise. You've been on Fox News shows. Walmart has been featured you.
Yeah.
In a segment called Real Talk with the Barbershop Talk. I mean, you are very much, an acclaimed speaker, and you're very inspirational. So I knew I had to have you in the guest chair this year, because we are focusing on entrepreneurial joy. And when I think of you, I think of joy. So,
oh my God, thank you so much. I really am excited. I've been excited all day. I've been telling everybody, okay, do not bother me from 5 o'clock until. I'm excited to be here. And listen, I'm just another brown black sister that's out here making it happen. You know what? We started doing this when I was it's so hard to believe, I was assisting my mom washing hair when I was 14 years old. Yeah, my mom did hair, my dad did hair. My mom ended up leaving and going back working for Ford. She stopped doing hair, but out of the 4 daughters that she had, I got the hair bug. But I did. But you know what, Chanel? I never wanted to be just that. Never. Even when I was a kid, I never wanted to be just the average hairdresser. I knew that there was a business component to the industry. And so I wanted to learn that part of the business. And I'm so glad that I was willing to take the risk that it took to actually learn about the business side of the beauty industry. It wasn't easy. It's been a journey. By the age of 16, I was homeless. And a lot of people say, why do you still tell that? I said, because it's still a part of my story.
Absolutely.
Because that was the part that gave me that fire and determination that I would never go back to that place. But it was in that place that I made God a promise. And I said, God, at 16, I said, God, if you get me out of this situation, I'm living in Detroit. It's cold. I don't have a bed. I'm laying on the floor in this abandoned house, and I got clothes and garbage bags. And I remember pulling all those clothes up like it was my cover because I was freezing cold. And I remember this cold tear running down my face. And I remember saying, God, if you get me out of this situation, I promise you, I will live for you for the rest of my life. And I promise I'll help other people. And you know what I heard, Chanel?
Right.
I heard in my spirit, if you use what's in your hands, you'll change your life and you'll impact the lives of others. And the next day, my girlfriend, I did her mom's hair, and my girlfriend's mom said, "Oh no, I'm taking you home." I'm like, "No, that's okay." No one knew I lived like this. I would take 2 buses to where I work. And she said, "Nope, I'm taking you home. It's too late for you to be going." I'm like, "Okay." So I was going to trick her. I said, "I live 2 houses up." She was like, "Oh, right. No, you don't. I'm watching you get in this house." So when she said, "Hey, you don't live there," I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "No." And she walked in the house with me. She said, "Get your stuff now." And she let me live with her for 6 months. And that's what the beginning of the changing of my life. And I remember I would never, ever be the same after that. And life never was the same after that. Never was the same.
That's incredible. And I think what you're talking about is paying it forward. Someone saw something in you. Someone saw something in you. She saw your talent. She saw your hustle, and she saw your gift, and she wanted to help you along your journey. That's beautiful.
And she did. And it was from there that doors just started open. You know what? It was when I committed to who I was. When I stopped trying to figure it out and embrace my natural talents, abilities, and skills without apology, and said, "This is who I am." But this is the thing, Chanel, and I know you felt it as a child or as a girl, as an adolescent. There's just something in us that you know is bigger than your friends that you're hanging around.
Absolutely.
I remember at 13 telling my girlfriend, I was like, "Oh my God," I was crying. She was like, "What is wrong?" I said, "Why do God want me to be like Martin Luther King?" She was like, "What are you talking?" But I couldn't explain it then, but I knew it was something big and great that I was entrusted with. And that's but I know you felt it as well.
Yeah, I can identify with your story on so many levels, being a young African-American woman, a girl, and growing up in what would be later explained to me, low income or low, wealth circumstances economically, but always knowing that, and I read a lot, I was very bookish. So
I love it.
I can read about other places, other socioeconomic is what they call it now. I can read about other socioeconomic circumstances, and I can literally envision my life and say, okay, when I go to work every day, I remember saying this as a kid, when I work every day, I'm going to wear a suit. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know where I was going to work. I didn't know what it would, I didn't really know, but I knew that I was dressed like Claire Huxtable when I went to work.
I love it. I love it.
You can, children can speak power over their lives, and they can envision and have a vision for their life very young. Absolutely.
I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
But you also said something that I think you kind of hinted at, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit more. I think it's key to entrepreneurship. Another thing that an entrepreneur has to do early is to decide to take a leap and trust God.
Absolutely.
Because you believe in something that you can't see.
Yes.
And when you really release that fear and say, God, I'm going to, God, I go to church every Sunday and I speak about being a Christian, but I'm not trusting you, God. I'm going to take this leap and I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to change my circumstance. I'm going to believe what I can't see. And
Yes.
God shows up every time.
Yes, he does. And that's because God will meet you at your faith. God is not respect of person, but God is respect of faith. And where there's faith is, God will be right there in the midst, because that he says, without faith, it is impossible to please me. So that is the one thing that I did understand as I was growing up as an entrepreneur woman, that I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mindset of where I came from, I had to inundate myself with the word or with positive affirmation.
Yes.
I have to inundate my mind so that it can change and evolve into the woman who I am destined to be. Because if you're not evolving, you're dissolving. And
Absolutely.
so I inundated my mind so that my belief systems would change, because I'm not going to allow my past to dictate my future. And the only way you do that is by the word. When he says, I beseech you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, that you may prove what is the good, acceptable will of God. But you got to do it by the transforming of your mind.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I can say as an entrepreneur, and this is something I'm saying to everyone who's listening, you know, if you are a person of faith, and I am, and Haith is, you oftentimes speak in the manner that when people are around you, they may push back on you and say, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
they're like, okay,
Exactly.
you know, you're putting everything down. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. You know, these are going to be our clients. And they're looking at you with this glassed over look in their face. Like,
yeah,
how are we going to do that?
But isn't it amazing how it all starts with really a thought?
It does.
You started with a thought. I never forget, just before we left to India, because I started importing, exporting hair from India and from China. So we will fly over there. And I remember meeting with the architects for the business. And my husband kept on saying, hey, you got to get it out of your mind so that other people can understand how you want this business to kind of unfold. So I remember writing it out and talking to the architects and the designers and everything. And I remember we went away to India, and they was at the last part of the building process. And I remember, you know how they put borders or wood around the building because it's still dangerous, because they're still working on it. Well, when we left, all of that was up. So you couldn't really see the building. You knew something was coming soon, but you didn't know what it was. We had spent so much time back and forth from China to India. It was time for me to come back and check on the building. Chanel, all I know is when I came home, they had taken everything down. The sign was on the building. The glass was shiny. Everything was in place like it was in my head. And I kept saying, that was in my head. I said, Henry, that's my husband, my business partner for 28 years. I said, do you understand we can do any? It was from there I knew.
Like, I got it.
Yes.
It's
if
all
you can get
about
it, there you go. Yes. If you can get it out your head, you got to write it though, because if you don't write it, it's just a wish.
Yes.
It's just a wish. So you got to, even the word says, write the vision, make it plain. So that there you got to write it down. And I learned that from Steve Harvey and Oprah Winfrey. Everyone wrote it down. And so writing it down, getting it out your head. But it's amazing how it starts as
a thought in your head. Yes. So I hope you guys are taking notes, because we're giving you the inside track of how an entrepreneur thinks. This is literally our thought process. So we're sharing that with you today. But I want to take it back a little further. I want to go back because we kind of we leapfrogged over a couple things.
I'm sorry.
No, we're flowing. So this is good. How did you go from being a hairstylist in your neighborhood with your mom and being homeless to a hairstylist to the stars? Tell what happened. How did this happen?
One day I got this ideal. I was in the drugstore. It was like, it's called Rite Aid here in Detroit. Mm-hmm. Well, now, you know, you have CVS and Walgreens. So I was in the store and I was buying some like a relaxer or something for my hair. And I had to be maybe about 18 or 19 years old. And I remember I looked at a perm box, and Chanel, it hit me. Wait a minute. There's a lady on the box. I said, wait a minute, somebody did her hair.
On that box, yeah.
And then I started looking around the store. I said, that lady got her hair done? I said, well, who's doing these people's hair? So then I started asking questions. I just started asking as many people as I knew. Well, I'm here from Detroit. So I was doing Dorinda Clark Cole's hair and Karen Clark and Vicky Winans and CeCe Winans because everybody's from Detroit. So it was just kind of like, and then when you're in this church circle, it's like, it's nothing to see Dorinda and Karen and everybody at musicals or wherever. Long story short, I just started inquiring, saying, hey, could you connect me to this person? And it was really having great relationships with people that I got connected to a great agency. It was a Black agency here, and they were hired out. So if a film came to Michigan, or if there was this big promotion of, I think it was Optimum hair care products, they wanted to film here in Detroit or get the talent from here. And that was my first gig. And so I would just go from one set to the next set, and then you just build a relationship, and then it spins over to the movies. And then I did a couple of my customers. They were on the set with Denzel Washington. Oh, but this is a life changer. This was a game changer for me. I got a call one day and they said, hey, Haith, we want to know if you're available. Oprah Winfrey is giving a birthday party for Maya Angelou, and they wanted to know if you would be available to do this principal's hair. I said, okay, hold on, let me check. Are you kidding? Absolutely. And so I was flown out first class by Oprah Winfrey at Maya Angelou's birthday party to particularly watch this one particular principal. And my job was to do her hair and her makeup for the 3 days that I was flown out there. And so it's just one door, but this is what I've learned. You gotta take those leaps of faith. Was I nervous? I was scared to death. Yes. I was like, what if I can't do it? Or what if she's me? I said, you know what? I am this type of person now, more so now. I have failed so many times that I've allowed failure now to be my caliber to taking me to that next level. In other words, I've seen it at its worst. So now let's make the best out of this. I hope that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that cancels out the fear and the anxiety. Absolutely. Because you're like, at the end of the day, flying out to California to do hair Oprah is better than staying in Detroit and trying.
And trying to figure out, I wonder if. And so I stopped that. And so my thing is, you know what? I allow fear to fuel me. Since I recognize that fear shows up, put it in the gas tank. Put it in the gas tank.
Yes, that's a good one.
There you go. Put it in, let it fuel you and not stop you. And so my thing is, I let it now push me because I already know if you do what you do best, because no one gets to be you. You get to be you. Do what you know, and it will work when you work it.
I love that. You said put fear in your gas tank and let it move forward. I love that. That is awesome. So also one thing I'm picking up in your story that you're not highlighting, but I know has to be true. To deal with the caliber of the likes of Yolanda Adams, the Clark sisters, Shirley Caesar, Oprah's company, to get your name in those circles and passed around like that, you must be a diligent hard worker, a people person.
Yeah.
People must gravitate to you and like you, and you must present yourself in a space of excellence. Otherwise, no one will be referring you in these circles.
Now that is true. The one thing I think the main ingredients is, Chanel, though, you just gotta love people.
You gotta be people. Yes.
You gotta love, and you gotta want the best for everybody. And you gotta learn. I learned to be a student too. You know, when you get in those type of circles, I kind of keep my mouth shut. I learn, I watch.
Good.
And I listen.
Good.
I listen. I become the student. I'm like, and because when I walked in that room where Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Susan Taylor over Essence, and it was so Colin Powell. It was so many people in that room. And I just kept on saying, I am in this room.
In the room. God opened the door. You walked in the room. Yes.
And I said, let me, because I know this about the Father. He doesn't expose you to nothing he's not going to give you. Absolutely. And so I knew he wanted me to see that there was more because he had more for me. So I became the student in those places. And yes, you have to operate with integrity. You have to, there's some things that I know that I'll go to my grave with. It doesn't mean anybody any good for me to gossip and tell. You don't do that. You go there, you walk in excellence, and you do what's expected of you.
I love it. Absolutely. So you had this illustrious career in hair care, and then you took it to the next level to actually have LeHost products in some prominent stores. Tell me about that pivot and what made you take that journey and decide to move your career in that direction. What was the impetus for that? And once you decided that that's the place you wanted to go with your career, what was your very first step to make it happen?
Awesome question. So every time a customer would come back, when I did have the salon, every time a customer would come back, I would develop a hair care product to solve the problem because you're always going to be relevant if you can solve today's problem. If you have a resolution to another person's problem, they're going to always come back to you. So when they would come back and say, my hair is tangling, we developed the world's greatest hair detangler called Unlock. Well, hey, I want shampoo and conditioner. I don't know which ones to buy. And I believe do not send your customers out to another store. That is your job to bring more value to your customer. So we develop hair care products such as our shampoo, conditioner, our hair detangler, thermo heat. So we would develop these products every time. And I didn't realize at the time, Chanel, I was developing a whole product line.
A
When
whole
we looked, yes. And I looked up one day and said, 1, 2, 3. I said, oh my God. I was just solving problems. I didn't want to send my customers anywhere else. I didn't want them to walk out. I believe if they're with you, be that person of excellence and bring value to your customers. Say, hey, I value your time and I'm an expert in what I do. I don't want to recommend something outside of my doors. Let me provide all of that for you. And then before we knew it, which thank God, is because when the pandemic hit, and the salons had closed down, it affected all of us. But by that time, I'd had a whole line of products. And so we had applied the year before to Walmart. And you get that letter that don't nobody want, but we all got to get them because I believe in order for you to get that big yes, you got to be able to take the no's as well, because it's a part of the process. It's a part of it. And so we applied and they said, no, we got turned down by so many stores. But the year before, we had applied again, and then we finally got the letter. So the world goes on lockdown. And what happened is 2 months later, I thought I was going to have to close the salon down because it was like there was nothing. Long story short, we pitched and they said yes. They offered us 2 stores and they offered us 200 stores. They wanted one product. And I'll never forget it. The day of Christmas, my buyer had called me back and said, I'm really impressed with your love for the community and for people. And I got your products and I love them. And so she said, I'm going to give you additional 109 stores and I'm going to take 2 products.
Nice.
Yeah. So stay with it. Who's ever watching this? Please do not give up. Just stay with it. Stay with it.
Yeah. And I think I love the fact that you were thinking diversification from the very beginning. You knew that traveling around the world wasn't going to be your long game. So you opened it on. And then you started to develop products. So you kept, I guess, reinventing yourself and strategizing and diversifying.
You are good. Chanel, you are really good. That's exactly. No, I'm serious. For you to even observe, because I forgot the part, that was what I was trying to say. But I knew at 30, I was not going to be able to stand on my feet for the rest of my life. So at 30, Chanel, that's when I started thinking, okay, I would always keep I don't know if that's just the Detroit part of me. I would always try to say, okay, where is the game going? How is the industry flowing? I would never be impressed with where we were because I knew things changed too much. So what I started doing is saying, okay, hair. Well, no, I'm going to fly to India. I'm going to fly to China and find out more about hair. And then when I turned 30, I said, well, no, I can't do hair for the rest of my life. So now I really want to learn more about the business and big distribution and manufacturing, because I knew at the age of 50, even though I look like I'm 21,
you're simply gorgeous.
Girl, so I said 50, I'm done. I'm not going to be standing behind the chair anymore because I just want to, I just didn't want to. I wanted to pass that down to the next generation, teaching them how to survive and just kind of have sustainability by doing hair with excellence, because you don't want to just do hair. You want to have your customer to have an experience with you and give them healthy hair care.
Yes. And the one thing about being from the African American community, I am very, very well versed in salon life because we live salon from little bitty wee babies. We are so innovative in the hair care. I mean, first of all, I just think that you guys are magicians. You're magic. I mean, you solve problems. You know, you counsel us. You therapize us. You do everything when we're sitting in the chair. You're magical beings. You really are. And I'm speaking from firsthand experience of being in the salon from a very, very young age. But to take your excellence and take your vision to the point of having, you know, wigs and units on the shelves, tell me about that, and tell me about some of the things that you've created in the wig world. I want to learn all about what you've done.
Okay, so in a nutshell, I had been impacted by a girlfriend who had passed away from cancer. And I always felt like, what could I have? And she had long, pretty hair. And when she went through the chemo, she was diagnosed with cancer by the age, I think it was 29, 30, like that. And I remember her, she was a great customer of mine. She was a singer, had albums. And anyway, long story short, she passed away by the age of 32. And I always felt like, man, what could I have to contribute to be a part of that journey? Yeah, but then it didn't hit me like when she went through chemo, that was the most devastating part for her, as well as being diagnosed, but losing all of her hair. And so it was kind of like, I remember looking and seeing that a lot of Black women had these bold looking wigs. And I'm like, hey, what's up with this? This is not cool.
Some of the wigs can be a little bit distressing.
Yeah. So I was like, this is not cool. So I said, well, I know the industry when it comes to hair extensions. What do I need to do? So I started making wigs. I started taking classes, became certified. And it's really, you know, it's some process. It just depends on how serious you want to get into hair replacement. But I really began to commit to learning how to measure and make wigs look more realistic. If you have to wear them, make sure they are the best looking wigs ever. And so I'm going to tell you the truth. It was me going through the Goldman Sachs because that was the ideal and that was my growth opportunity. So when I pitched it to Goldman Sachs, they loved it. And that's what actually got me in the program was I wanted to be one of the first Black women who produce wigs for Black women because there's not a lot of Black companies that produce wigs for Black women. I'm talking about on a mad scale.
That's stunning. I can't even believe that. That's stunning.
It's kind of as this, you talking about disrupt, I'm coming to tear it all up.
Wow.
And so it started with a girlfriend that was impacted with cancer. And then I, again, became in partnership with the American Cancer Society. What that simply meant was they saying, hey, we have wigs, you have a salon, why don't we ship them out to you? They would ship me up to 100 wigs and I would call hospitals and hospitals would call me. And so I established a relationship among those that had been diagnosed with cancer. As soon as they go through the chemo, they come here, they got wigs, and honey, the hope that came back into their eyes, or the sense of normalcy when daughters and mom would sit in my room and just cry, or a daughter would bring her mom and she would say, Mom, just shave your hair off. It's gonna be, and I said, stop. That's hers. Yeah. That's her frizzy on her head. Let her handle that however she wants. And then you put a wig on her. Oh, God, girl, I would do it forever for the rest of my life. I promise you, once I seen it was more than hair, it became ministry for me. And so that's now what I'm after. Not just helping women that go through the process of cancer or losing hair for whatever reason. I'm about bringing hope to somebody in the field, in the industry that I am, and allowing them to be beautiful unapologetically, show up in a room and be the best and not sorry for being beautiful while they do it.
I love it. I love it. And your wigs are stunning. And we're gonna drop links into the show so they can visit your site and see the gallery.
Thank you.
What you have. Your wigs are simply stunning. I've seen them and they're gorgeous. So I want to thank you for using your gift, using your passion for others to bless the world in this way. And it's so significant for women who have, you know, several different challenges going on. I told you I have issues with vitamin D deficiency, with, heredity and stress from the pandemic, I started to have, some issues. So I just think, again, I think that your industry and women like you are just magic, Haith. I
appreciate it.
I think,
wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
So what is on the horizon next for Haith? What makes you excited? Because again, this is about joy and living your dreams. So what are you really excited for?
I am really serious about disrupting this industry. I think we as Black women have been Black and brown women, we have been the number one consumers in the industry. And so I'm ready for us to take some stake back and just to become more of owners of producing on a mass scale of not only just hair care products, but also the hair industry. And so it's been locked up by so many other cultures other than ours. I want to make sure that this next generation has a stake in the business of hair. And so that's what I'm really after. So I'm doing my studies. I'm so excited because I got something planned coming up really, really soon. I'm taking some international trips. I think we're taking over the world, Chanel.
I believe it. Listen, I will put my money on you, honey, before I put on anybody else. I believe it. Absolutely. So, yes, you are. And also, I didn't share this earlier. You are an ordained elder, and you have received your bachelor's in pastoral counseling. Again, when I alluded to this earlier, that if you've ever been in a salon and in a salon chair with a hairstylist, an African-American hairstylist, you guys are absolutely anointed that way. Some of the best, I mean, you guys, miracle workers. You can make hair grow from where hair doesn't supposed to grow. And you can, ease our stress and our tensions. You can feel our energy and walk us through some trauma, some traumatic times. So it makes perfect sense that you have studied along those veins as well. It makes total sense.
I mean, that's kind of why I did it, because I wanted, I was gonna say I got a problem, but it's not really a problem. I think we're made like this. I don't believe in half doing anything. So because I would have so many customers that wanted to come in and sit and talk, I was like, I need to know how to give them the proper answers.
Wow.
Because I'm serious. I mean, I have always loved ministry, and I'm married to an ordained elder as well. And but he started school and he would come home and I was like, wait a minute, there's medical names for this stuff. I'm like, are you kidding? So he just kind of sparked that interest in me since he was going to a theologian school. I said, I'm going to go too. So he went for his master's. I said, I'm okay with my bachelor's. I'm just trying to help my girls when they come for their appointments.
Wow.
But yeah. And I also go in and out of youth facility homes where we minister to young girls that's been rescued from human trafficking. Because remember, I made God a promise that if he got me out that situation, I would always reach back. And so this is the rest of my life. See, when you have a job, you can make you can retire. When you have a career, you can plan an exit strategy. But when you're living on a mission, you'll die doing it. So this is what I live for. This is it. And I love it.
And I can tell it gives you joy, because every time I see you, you are full of light. You're full of joy. You're living in your purpose. And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah. And can I say this to you, Chanel?
Sure.
I want to say thank you to you. I'm about to cry. Oh my God. And how we met was through the Magnificent Women program, right?
Yes.
But I want to thank you in particular. Oh God, yes. You and Brittany. You and Brittany was game changers for me. You two are, oh my God, yes, honey. Let me tell you why. That's why I'm going to be very transparent, because I was so intimidated, because I was, and sometimes I have to remind myself, hey, you're not just a hairdresser, so stop that, right? But sometimes that's how I was treated in circles of corporate. Oh, that's just the hairdresser. Oh, she just has a salon. But God says, I have mission for you. But it was the kindness of you and Brittany. Oh, God, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. It was the kindness of you, sister, of me watching you with your excellent self. And somebody had said that they were doing something. And you said, and it was so funny to me. It was our first initial orientation. You said, and you pay her? It was somebody whose manager was just out of pocket. And you was like, and you pay her? I said, well, I'm gonna love her right here. I love her because it was kind of like, no, bring them standards up. And I just was like, oh my God, that was so incredible advice. I mean, it was just straight to the point, and I love straight shooters. And then just Brittany, and I know that you guys are like have a special connection,
yes.
honey. I'm like, I love you too, and you guys made it very comfortable for me to take my space at the table. And so thank you.
You did it.
Thank you.
I loved you. You I haven't invited a lot of women from the mastermind, but you shone through. Like I saw you, even when we did group events, I would see you and I would look at you and I'm like, she's special. She's magnificent.
Wow. Yeah. But just you saying, I saw you. Chanel, I saw you too.
Oh,
I saw you too. I saw you.
We're going to be girlfriends.
I look forward to it. I look forward to learning from you. You are really a magnificent. Oh my God. You have gained. I know this is my interview, but baby, you have changed the game as well. And so as a sister, I applaud you. I applaud you and I celebrate you.
Thank you, Haith. Well, I think it's a great way to end the rest of our interview as a love fest that we just have for each other. And it's important to see. It's good to see.
Yeah,
we
absolutely
love on each other. We need more of that, right? We need space to do this for each other. So thanks again, Haith. Thanks for coming on and sharing your brilliance with us and your journey. I know you're going to inspire so many young women.
I hope I do.
Women that are, high school age, all the way through our age, that listen to the show and they write me. So I know I'm going to hear from people that hear our show together today.
Thank you again for allowing me into your sacred space. I appreciate you.
All righty.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.